this, otherwise. So that's where we're going very much today. Let me just share my screen with you. The best way to experience, to learn about journaling is to do it, to try it. And so that's what I like to offer us in this space. So if you haven't journaled before, please don't worry. You don't need to have a long practice of journaling. It's just the place to give it a go and see what comes up for you. We are recording this session, and that is purely for anyone who has signed up for the session but can't make it today. So they will be, I'll share this after the session, and you can always revisit it as well if you like to. There's absolutely no pressure to share anything today. I do encourage, if you have any reflections, to share those in the chat. It's really lovely to hear about what comes up for you, and that really helps us reflect on our own learning as well. But please don't feel that you have to contribute in any way, and just be compassionate to yourself, just be kind to yourself through this session. We are focusing on the area of people pleasing today, and that can be a bit of a tricky subject, can bring up different thoughts and beliefs, so just look after yourself in this space. So let's dive in. Let's just get started today because we haven't got much time. So I'm going to offer you 5 minutes now for you to arrive in this space with some wild writing, a freestyle journaling technique whereby there are no rules, there's no structure, it's complete freedom with you and the page to connect to. So it's important to remember you can't do this wrong. There's no such thing as, the right way to journal. It's whatever works for you in that moment. That might look like a page full of writing. That might look like just random words. It might be doodling. You might even just use this time to think and reflect for yourself. It's whatever you need right now. I love setting a timer because it really helps me kind of take the pressure off, to stop me feeling like I have to sit here and journal for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Is really, you don't need to do that to still experience the amazing benefits. So we're just going to try it here. And if you struggle with an empty page, that's where you may prefer prompts. But I am going to offer you this question. What is on your mind today? I will set the timer for 5 minutes. I'm going to do this with you, and then we'll come back in 5 minutes. So I will see you then. And just inviting you to finish your reflection, finish your journaling as and when you feel ready to do so. That was 5 minutes. It's so lovely. I love having the music on the background. It just takes me into that deeper level of relaxation and reflection. And as you just maybe look over what you've captured, what you've written, yeah, what do you notice? Does anything stand out for you? I often get asked, should we read back over our journaling? Is that part of the process? It can be, but it doesn't have to be. So whatever you've written down today, know that that's right for you in this moment. You may want to just glance back over it and just think like, what's come out there? That might be a shopping list. It might be your to-do list or your priorities. It might be something that's come up for you that's been bugging you overnight that you didn't realize was there. Um, it might be something that's been troubling you for a while that you've been ruminating around. So do feel free to share any reflections. Vicky, this is brilliant. Your writing started getting faster, the handwriting's gone crazy. I totally resonate with that. And even that can be a reflection, can't it, of what's going on in our mind? Does that the speed of handwriting, does how your handwriting, is that really reflecting what you're carrying around in your mind? And that might be excitement and excited energy at something coming up, or it can be that overwhelm, that busyness in our minds as well. Diane, capturing a worry list. Yes, a great place for to capture those worries is in our journaling practice. Bringing them out of the darkness and more into the light, where we can see them, where we can choose to do something about them, perhaps if we wanted to. Maybe it's just a place to capture those, to reflect on those. Francis sharing that this has helped you recognize the impact of the stress has been having on you, and that you don't need to hold on to it. Fantastic. Journaling, a lovely place to let things go. And Janine reflecting there, I just need to be good enough and not perfect. Really love this. Sarah, thank you. You ask yourself questions in your writing. So that's a fantastic practice as well, capturing those questions. And you could turn those questions then into journaling prompts for yourself. And Melanie, overwhelm came up for you as well. So great. So I wonder how much of you recognized that before you started writing today, how maybe you had a sense of what might come up. But seeing it written down, it's just that acknowledgement. It's just like, oh, right, okay, yeah, that's everything that's going on for me. So thank you for sharing that. We are going to quickly move on. This time goes so quickly, doesn't it? To the journaling prompt. So a different technique, having a prompt, some people prefer that to the blank page, but they really help us to create a bit of structure to dive deeper into our journaling practice, or to reflect on different things, and maybe things that we hadn't thought about, can bring up new solutions, new answers, help us see maybe what we haven't been seeing. So each month we have a different theme. This month is people pleasing, and it's a tricky one because lots of people experience this for different reasons. I'm not going to go into that too much. We're just going to get stuck into the prompt. So what will happen is I'll put a prompt on the screen now. We'll have about a minute, so very quick, to reflect on that prompt. So you might want to take screen grabs or capture, or just think about coming back to these prompts when you have a little bit more time to delve into them. Or you might want to revisit this video again later. So make yourself comfortable again. I will pop a different prompt up on the screen, and then I'll move the screen along to the new prompt. If you want to stay on a prompt for longer, that's absolutely up to you. You're very welcome to do so. So firstly, invite you to reflect on when was the last time you agreed to do something that you really didn't want to do? And secondly, what are the beliefs that you hold about yourself that fuel your need to please others? And what could some alternative, perhaps more helpful beliefs be? And what situations or perhaps people are most likely to trigger your need to people please? And how might you prepare yourself to respond differently in those situations next time that happens? And our final prompt for today, think of a time when you did successfully put your needs first. How did that make you feel? Just inviting you back into the space. If you've got time after this session, it'd be great if you wanted to carry on writing, maybe come back to one of the prompts that you felt particularly called to. Feel free to share any thoughts with us, any reflections on what you captured today in the chat. Don't necessarily need to share the content, but just what are you noticing? Maybe you had a preference today over the journaling prompts versus the wild writing. What felt more nourishing for you today? What did you need today? It is a very challenging topic in particular that we've thought about today. So just make sure you're looking after yourself as you walk away from this session. I love Emma Reed Terrell's book on people pleasing. She wrote a book called Please Yourself. And she says, yeah, putting yourself first doesn't mean that you don't care about others, but it means that you can care better. Your cup is full and it can overflow then into the cup of others. It's a challenging subject, so please do look after yourself. I will share the book with you on the email, my follow-up email, and the prompts will come in the follow-up email as well. So the book is Please Yourself by Emma Reed Terrell, Abby, and I'll follow up with you if you haven't got that after the session. Just a quick note on what's coming up because we are speeding towards the end of the year. So I just wanted to share what other ways we can journal together. So we have got, well, there's a longer session if you want to dive a bit deeper into your reflections and spend a bit of time reflecting on the year gone by. So I'm doing an extended session for 90 minutes on the 1st of December. It's a Sunday sort of afternoon, evening. You're very welcome to join for that session. And of course, then we will have the last journaling for wellbeing workshop on the following Monday. And the theme for that is around making confident decisions. So a lot there about tuning in to our values and using those to make confident decisions. I'll pop a link in the chat to all the workshops if you want to jump on and register for any of those. And then some of you may remember the January journaling challenge, which was the free challenge that took place earlier this year for the month of January. And I'm considering redoing that again in 2025. It was a daily journaling prompt that you would get from me, and we would all journal together. I think about 280 people joined that last year. So if you were one of them and like the sound of that, please do let me know if that's something you would be interested in joining me for again, or if you weren't doing it this year with me and it's something of interest to you, please do let me know. So yes, that's it from me. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Thank you so much for joining me. It's an absolute pleasure to journal with you at the start of the week. And I really hope to see you again next month, if not before. Take care, everybody.